Uh, so I wanted to show you this Charlie Kirk America Fest 2024. This video of him talking about how they tried to kind of put the fire out on Donald Trump's presidency. And I'm just gonna continue the video from there. So
they did everything they could to make him disappear, but there was a problem. Is that you could put Donald Trump in exile at Mar-a-Lago, but you can't make 75, 80 million people disappear. Is that they can make him as if, okay, we're going to try to solve this problem. But what are you going to do with the people of this country? And that's where all of you that continue to do the work, you entered. We entered front stage, and it was difficult. We were told that this was never going to happen, that the Democrat Party was immovable. For all of you on campuses that continue to fight for conservative causes, that were graded differently, kicked out of class, that were smeared, that were slandered, it was as if there was no immediate hope. But you guys had faith. And faith not just that we could take back our country. And if we are honest with ourselves, we cannot take credit for what happened on November 5th. The person, or more importantly, who deserves credit is God Almighty for saving this country and giving us 4 years of Donald Trump. We didn't earn it. We worked out of obedience, but we were inches away from a civil war. And Donald Trump just so happened to turn his head at a specific time to look at a PowerPoint. I mean, I've been to a lot of MAGA rallies. How many MAGA rallies does he do a PowerPoint presentation? And he just happened to turn his head at that specific moment, and that bullet whizzed by and grazed his ear. And by the grace of God that we did not earn and we did not deserve, his life was spared on July 13th in Butler, Pennsylvania. He had every reason to play it safe after that. He had every reason to just kind of take it easy. He had every reason not to continue to campaign, to say that I'm just going to kind of hope for the best. He did more events. He said, I'm going to go do outdoor events. Forget it. We're not going to let the bad guys win. And you can tell who a person is in a moment of crisis. You see, our leaders talk a big game, but anytime they actually feel the pressure, they fold. And we saw who Donald Trump actually is in that moment. When he fell to the floor and he rose, he spoke to all of us at a fundamental level, at a level that we can't even put into words. When he ascended, he said, fight, fight, fight. It was an anthem. It was a clarion call for all of us. That regardless of what you are up against, this is a guy who did not need to be doing this. You know that Donald Trump could have cut a deal. Donald Trump could have cut a deal. The final warning shot was when they raided Mar-a-Lago in August of 2022. That was the warning shot. Like, hey, you better not do this thing, run for the presidency. Cut a deal, golf for the rest of your life, or else we're going to put you in federal prison. And Donald Trump had a choice. Do I do the easy thing or the right thing? And if there is one thing that you teach your child, it's you must do the right thing, even if it is the challenging thing. He knew what he was signing up for. To be indicted by Fani Willis, by Alvin Bragg, the show trial in New York, 700 years in federal prison. He could have just cut a deal. Guys, I'm not running for the presidency. Keep me out of jail. And every single gutless wonder politician of the last 40 years would have cut that deal. They tried to take his business empire from him. They did everything they could to cut him off. But there's something that drives this man that is different. And it's why all of you are here. It is a love of the beautiful things. It's a love of our home. A place that we inherited that we are sick and tired of seeing abused. To see our taxpayer dollars being sent to Ukraine while our southern border remains wide open. Donald Trump loved his nation so so that he put all of his business empire on the line so that he would go and take a bullet for you to save America for your kids and grandkids. And more than that, I want you to understand the cultural reversal that we all lived through, because it was repeated. Now, I'm going to ask somebody, can somebody throw me your MAGA hat here for a sec? Who wants to get? There we go. Okay, 90 volunteers. Thank you, guys. Look at this. Who remembers back in 2016? If you wore this hat on the streets of New York, it was open hunting season. If you wore this in 2021, they would come after you. And yet I saw something fundamental. It's fundamentally different, and something change. And it goes to show that the good guys can win if we push hard enough. It goes to show that we can turn the symbols where they are trying to ostracize us into symbols of victory. When I went to college campuses this last cycle, we ordered a couple hundred MAGA hats. All of a sudden, all the kids wanted them. We started passing them out. I said, okay, we'll do a couple thousand. I go to the University of Georgia. I'm handing out 5,000 of these things. This MAGA hat that all of you guys own went from a symbol of those people are terrible Nazis to the coolest, most desirable thing that one can wear in American politics. And that didn't happen overnight. Whose MAGA hat is this? There you go. That happened because we refused to accept the names they would call us. And we kept on wearing the hat. We refused, like, oh, okay, you're going to call me a racist. I don't care. What else do you have? I'm going to keep wearing the hat. It became a symbol of strength. It became a symbol of resolve. It became a symbol of grit. It became a symbol of American masculinity coming back into our culture. It became a symbol that American greatness is what we demand, that we deserve, that we are not going to apologize for being the greatest nation ever to exist in the history of the world, that we are going to have a mass deportation effort, and that we're going to take back our nation. That hat then represented something even more. President Trump, the greatest deal maker that politics has ever seen, he brokered quite a deal over the summer. He said, okay, Democrats, you guys get Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger. We get Bobby Kennedy and Tulsi Gabbard. Let's make a deal. And that hat all of a sudden represented not just common sense, but it represented people of all sorts of different political stripes and backgrounds that were coming together with their sphere of focus and influence. Maybe you are a parents' right advocate. Maybe you are here as a Second Amendment enthusiast. Maybe you are a school board member. Maybe you are a pastor. Maybe you are a Make America Healthy Again advocate. Whatever focus group that you have, as long as we can agree on the big stuff, the country's collapsing, things are amiss, we need to combine forces and defeat the incumbent regime. Welcome aboard. We are going to make America great again. And what we witnessed on November the 5th, being this great comeback story, was also the result of the hard work that all of you guys did in the grassroots. For those of you that chased ballots, for those of you that registered voters, for those of you that gave powerful sermons on the Sundays before the election, for those of you that showed up at Republican meetings at 7 a.m. to make sure that everyone had the yard signs that they need, this is your victory. You see, it is easy just to say that it's just one candidate versus another. What it really is one army of activists versus another army of activists. And guess what? We were outspent, but we outworked them this election cycle. Because we wanted it more. Kamala Harris had $1 billion, and hey, by the way, where did that $1 billion go? She sent it to China? She sent it to Zelensky? He's got enough money. $1 billion to do what? And yet we were outspent. We know it. We knew that we were up against the most powerful, well-funded machine in American political history. And it was a machine versus a movement. And the movement were people, many of us in this room, that we're not, and it was not an oligarch, not a billionaire, but you could knock on 1,000 doors. You could chase 100 ballots. In this state of Arizona, which I, as you know, care deeply and passionately about, we made a promise. We said we are going to invest the greatest ground force Arizona has ever seen. We hired well over 1,000 full-time people here on the ground in Arizona at Turning Point Action. And I can say now, Arizona was the best performing swing state of the 2024 election. We chased over 200,000 low propensity ballots here in the state of Arizona. And in fact, when I was, Mr. President, can we have you at this event? Can we, try to get you? And he said, Charlie, I will only come under one circumstance. It is called a tribute to Arizona, to honor the great people of Arizona that gave me my greatest victory ever in Arizona and brought State 48 back to greatness. And that happened because of the hard work and the grit, the resolve of all of you in this room. And it goes to show that things can change. It goes to show that we can improve this country, that we don't have to accept the premise. But then it brings us to today's time, because we must simultaneously look at the past, what we've been through, the present, which is celebration and giving glory to God for what was given, but also the future. Because if we let our guard down and act as if that everything is fine, the transformation of the Republican Party is not yet complete. You see, for those of you that follow me on social media, you know that I've been very outspoken the last week saying the following. Very simple. It's not radical. It's not revolutionary. I think it's reasonable, which is this. If you are a Republican from a deep red state and you voted for Joe Biden's nominees and you're giving Donald Trump a hard time about his nominees, we will primary you and remove you from office immediately. And for all of those red state senators out there, let this be a warning to you that the 20,000 people here at America Fest and the 1 million people here that are watching online and the millions of people that will see these clips, we are not going to take a Republican Party that gets in the way of the will of the people. We want a Republican Party that fights to win. And for every U.S. Senator out there, you must confirm Pete Hegseth, Tulsi Gabbard, Kash Patel, Bobby Kennedy, Pam Bondi, and Trump's entire cabinet, or you will face a primary challenger immediately. Because we want a Republican Party that is as conservative as its voters. We want a Republican Party that is responsive to all of you. We want a Republican Party that actually listens to what you want, not a Republican Party that goes to D.C. and becomes something completely and totally different. And look at the power that you have. In just the last 24 hours, we did something that we never would have been able to do before. They were trying to do this ridiculous, sick, and twisted and concocted 1,500-page Democrat boondoggle giveaway continuing resolution. Under old circumstances, that thing just would have passed. But there's new voices. And we took to social media. Elon Musk took to social media. Many of you took to social media. And the president took the lead and said, no, we're not going to give Congress a 74% pay raise while Americans are being crushed by inflation. We're not going to send more money to Ukraine. We're not going to have this boondoggle of biolabs being spent overseas. We're not going to have immunity for January 6th committee. And what you did, and I want to show the power that you have, is that you, everybody in this room and everyone watching online, you defeated the Washington insiders in hours, everybody. And that CR is dead. It is dead. And you did that.
So, all of what he just said, basically, that's literally like, that's all what he was assassinated for. You know how some people say, oh, it's a free country, right? But like they don't like people standing up for what they believe in. Like that's just they're not standing up for their word. I mean, think about that. I mean, he's assassinated now because of what he thought was right. That's what's really wrong. Not what he stands up for.